How to be greater than your addictions. Part 2. And I'm talking booze, smokes, and pot. And this is just sharing my story. I mean, everybody has their own, and those are still enjoying these things. That's great too. I'm just sharing for anybody out there that's trying to get away from these things as well. So, start off with, I'm going to talk about the booze, because that's been around for a long time, and it followed me right through. And I'm not talking just having a drink on the weekends. I mean daily. I'm not talking about getting up in the morning and craving a drink, but at night, come home after work, have a couple beer. Those couple turned into 4, 5, 7, 9. Next thing I know, I'm into a case, damn near a case of beer every night. 8 to 10 beer, 11 beer a night. And I'm not talking 0.5, I mean 6.2, or that black ice stuff that was pretty strong near in the Alberta area. Drank a lot of that out there. Anyway, it became too much. I was 300 pounds, not healthy at all, not looking good. And between the smoking and the smoking the cigarettes and the booze, it was getting to be too much. So the booze had to go first. And the booze wasn't easy. I mean, I come home every day. I want to have a drink after work, right? I deserve it. It's kind of the mentality. I don't deserve a drink. Yeah, that don't make any sense, but it did at the time. So what I ended up doing when I come home, I stopped drinking. I took up smoking pot instead. So when I come home, I'd smoke a joint. So I didn't really beat the addiction. I just changed it for something else. But that's what it was. So then I was down to just drink a little bit in the weekend, but during the week, no booze. And I'd lost 40, 50 pounds. I also start working out, which sounds weird. I know from smoking pot, you wouldn't think that goes together, but you'd be surprised what you still can do while smoking pot. It's not what we thought. So yeah, I started working out, getting in better shape, doing a lot of things still, but still carrying on with the pot and with the cigarettes. So then the cigarettes downgraded. They downgraded to e-cigarette because, hey, that's cheaper, better, lasts longer, not as bad for you apparently. Till a few years in, about 4 or 5 years in, and I start coughing my guts out, and I start bleeding. My lungs start bleeding. That scared the shit out of me. Because an outside cut is one thing, but an inside cut is something totally different. So that day that happened, I fired that friggin' device into the woods, and I've never touched that stuff since. But what I end up doing is just smoking more pot. So the booze is gone, the cigarettes are gone. I was holding tight on that pot for a year. Almost a year. It was definitely a year to the month, but almost a year to the day that my lungs bled the year before from smoking the cigarettes. Well, I overcompensated. Every time I wanted a cigarette, I smoked a joint. So that wasn't helping my lungs either. I was still smoking a lot, so almost a year to the day. Same thing, I coughed up blood again. So what do you do with that? Well, you can be a dummy and keep going, or you get rid of the pot. And I stopped smoking pot. That's been 6, 7 months. I don't know. I don't keep track because keeping track for what? For you to go back and do it again? Like, I'm done. I can't smoke any more pot. Freaking blood coming out of my lungs. What the hell? So you gotta be careful. And I say this is because I prayed. I didn't pray for blood to come out of my lungs, but I prayed to God to help me, to give me something to help me from my addictions, to clear this. I don't want to be doing any of this anymore. And I remember in a very, very personal, but very personal, emotional moment, praying hard. But you got to remember too, God knows you, and I'm freaking stubborn as hell. I can be very stubborn. So how do you get through to somebody that's stubborn? I don't know. Maybe flip on the red light, get the warning light come up on the engine. That might straighten you around a little bit. And that's what happened. And that's what I looked at as. I've seen how he's worked in my life before in the past, and I'm planning in the future not to be as stubborn, more open to hearing change. So anyway, that was like a year to the day, really. Like in September, and then a year later, same time, same thing, cough up blood again. It was wild. So anyway, those are gone. Now, still have a drink on the weekend, sure, but with the lungs, I mean, you can't torture your lungs like that. So I guess the coping mechanism I was using is just using one to bounce off the other, and then a little less. So I was kind of weaning myself off a little bit, but I would never be able to do that without his help, without Christ's help. I mean, without praying every night and affirming who I am as a person, as a human, as a child of God, not as a filter, because that's all I was doing, is being a filter. And anyway, that had helped me get rid of those addictions. So there you go. Hopefully that helps somebody, at least one person out there that's watching this. And just remember, you do have greatness inside of you. More strength, more ability, more power to overcome anything that comes against you. in this life. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And take care.